OMG BBG! What up BBGs? Welcome back to another BBG Talks video.
Yeah.
Dang, usually we don't do these very often, and now we're doing it like really often.
Well, we got some pretty big Beyblade news, right?
Yeah.
Usually we talk about the anime, we talk about the products, but we've never talked about the movie.
We're not talking about an anime movie.
What movie?
We're talking about a live action movie. The ones that have been following Beyblade for a little while probably remember a very similar story a few years back.
2015?
Yeah, so quite a few years. Paramount, they purchased the rights to make a live action version of Beyblade years ago, and it fizzled out. No one made it. And now apparently it's back on the table, and there could be a Beyblade live action movie.
Well, that was like more than 5 years ago when
like
we first heard that rumor.
6-7 years.
And like we thought like, okay, maybe I'll give it a couple more years and maybe we'll hear more about it, right? But it seems like now we're hearing a bit more about it, but still not like concrete enough for us to like. There's no trailer.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
There's no like cast member list or anything like that.
It's super early development stages right now.
There are a couple new names though that like really kind of it's important. That's why we're like covering it because I feel like it feels like it's getting there.
It's at least one step closer to having this movie compared to before.
Yeah.
Right. So let's just dive right in. A bunch of different companies made articles about it. Gizmodo, we got CG, Meg,
yeah,
we got,
even
The Verge.
The Verge had it too. Yeah,
everyone was talking about it for a little bit there, just a couple days ago.
Yeah.
So Paramount is going to be partnering up with Jerry Bruckheimer, who produced a bunch of other very famous movies like Pirates of the Caribbean. I think he had some influence or like worked on Bad Boys.
Yeah, he's working on Top Gun, which is releasing this summer.
Oh, the remake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like big names here. What do you guys think? A live action Beyblade movie. What are your expectations? Are you scared of what's gonna happen? Because we are.
Yeah. Well, like first of all we need to figure out what the plot is, which we still have no idea. Like Beyblade and real life doesn't really like go together in a movie. I feel like Transformer, I can see it. G.I. Joe, I see it.
G.I. Joe is pretty realistic because it's like a bunch of baddies with guns going up against good guys with guns.
But Beyblade, like, is this gonna be like set in a real life world? I'm also thinking of like Pokemon, like Detective Pikachu. Like that was a pretty good live action, even though I first thought it was like really cringy or weird.
Still fantasy, right?
Yeah.
Like obviously having these creatures and all that stuff, pocket monsters, right? Like it's still very fantasy like.
Yeah.
So I mean, the setting is gonna be probably everyone is using a Beyblade that can probably destroy or kill people.
Yeah, so is it gonna be like more fantasy based, like Metal Sega, or is it gonna be like more burst based, which is like tournament style?
I really don't think they're going to make it that realistic, like in tournament style Beyblade Burst format type thing. Like
it's not Hollywood enough.
Yeah, why don't you just film us while we're battling? There's your Beyblade movie. But yeah, to get such a big producer to make a movie like that, I really don't think that they're gonna bring out their 8K cameras and stuff to film a couple of kids battling.
Oh wait,
right?
Jerry's calling me. Hello?
We don't know if it's going to be based on the first generation, like with Tyson and them, or is it going to be Metal Fight? But I have a feeling it's going to be the first two.
Okay, this is a tough one because with Beyblade, you got three pretty distinct audiences. Like you got the Burst, like oldies, right?
Yep.
Like, or sorry, not Burst, the original.
Yeah.
Like the first gen. Like these guys are like older.
Like us, basically, we grew up with that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like we have money to buy the tickets, right? Yeah. Like similar to a lot of the like remakes, like Avatar, Last Airbender, like those kind of remakes. Like I don't know, like movies geared towards like more young adults seems like the better bet. But then at the same time, if you don't put like any reference to Burst, like the younger audience is not gonna watch it. Like they don't care about it, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like finding that right balance. Like my suggestion or like my idea is like I feel like it needs to be like completely new universe. You know how like Marvel does like their comics and they have the Marvel Cinematic Universe where like they create like a brand new story, taking hints from like different things, right? So maybe that's kind of like how it should be. It's just my opinion. That way like everybody can like have fun with the movie.
That's a really good point because at least at that point no one can complain, right? It's not like they should have did Tyson like this or Jenga like that. You know what I mean? So
like they can take references from like everywhere.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. In my opinion, like I was scared about what they were going to make because it could flop really bad. But to be totally honest, I don't care what they put out as long as it actually makes it to theaters. That's a huge win for Beyblade. Like, that is a massive win.
We were just talking about this earlier. What was that movie that flopped really bad?
Dragon Ball?
Yeah, Dragon Ball. So, like, I remember they even, like, came out to apologize to the fans, like, at one point. They were like, yeah, sorry, the movie sucked, pretty much.
Like, that was
like, you don't want that to happen, though, right?
Exactly. Like, that is so bad. Like, that was so bad because Dragon Ball is such a legendary series, right? Following since like the 80s and everything like that.
Yeah.
So it could flop.
You also need to like make sure it do its justice to the like original like, stories and stuff. So
I'm sure Paramount and Jerry is going to be, you know, aiming for that. Obviously, they're not there to make a crap movie, but at the same time, though,
you never know.
Yeah, you never know. But just this being made into a movie already means that Beyblade is making pretty big strides, right? Like, it's gaining popularity, like, enough to make a movie out of it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, like, maybe we'll do a little cameo, we'll start applying for some roles
around. Alright,
like,
making calls right now.
We'll be on the random guys that launch a Bay and the main character, the main
Yo, Gavin James.
We'll just
hitting me up right now. Like, I don't know what to think about it. It seems like Beyblade is ready to be showcased to the world, but I don't know if the world is ready for it yet. You know, like...
It's hard to say. It's not going to be a super high budget movie, right? You're not going to be getting $1 billion budget for something like this, you know what I mean? Like, you'd be lucky to get something close to 50 million on budget or something.
Yo, but if Jerry Bruckheimer is in this, it seems like it's a pretty big thing. Like, he does a lot of production for big things, right?
Big franchises, exactly. But
yeah, like, you never know.
You're gonna have to sell so many tickets to be able to make that money back, right? If you're gonna be doing, you know, some crazy special effects and all that. Yeah. I don't know. As long as it's not too corny, then I think I'll enjoy it, right? Whether it's a whole separate new universe like you suggested or something on the old stuff, it's going to be worth it. Even if you don't appreciate the previous generations like Metal Fight or First Gen, I think those kids that are into Beyblade Burst, if they see the title Beyblade, they'll at least be like, okay, I'll give it a chance, right? Although
but you also want to make sure that it's like marketing perspective wise, like you want to make sure it's to the wide audiences. Like, you don't want to just be too niche, which Beyblade sometimes is, right? Exactly. So that's dangerous.
We think it's niche. Now it's getting a live action movie. Not as niche anymore. So it's big news. Yeah. Now, of course, when's the movie coming out? No idea. It could be 2030.
Or 2040.
Yeah. We thought it was coming out in maybe 2017, 2018, right? When we first heard the news.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Now it's been 6-7 years, and now they're just talking about starting production, possibly, right? So.
Yeah. And we're curious to know also, like, what do you guys think of this news? Like, do you think it should be taking place in, like, the Burst era, or should it be focused on the original Beyblade? Like, all these articles are all, like, I feel like hinting towards the first gen stuff.
Yeah.
But then again, no one really knows. I feel like they just slapped the logo on there thinking, like, it's probably going to be that. There's, like, no plot, no, like, information on IMDb. It's, like, pretty much... like non-disclosed right now.
Yeah. I think going the fantasy route is going to attract more people, like more moviegoers.
They almost have to do that.
They have to.
Yeah.
You're going to make a movie about Beyblade sport. Like, sport movies in general don't make that much money in the first place, right? If you think about sports as a whole in the big screen, right?
But how do they make it, like, not cringe, but, like, fun?
Well, you know, in my opinion, I think
mixed Beyblade and real life, like stadium, like, is it bad guys you're fighting or like what's going on?
I think it has to be. It's like Power Rangers, stuff like that. You know what I mean? There's gotta be some sort of antagonist that's really trying to mess up the Beyblade world, right?
Yeah.
I really don't think it's gonna be a sport movie.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna flop really hard, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But that's the movie. That's the movie.
I'm sure they know better. Like they know what to do.
Yeah, let's hope that it actually makes it to production and everything like that. It's going to be huge.
Okay, so transitioning to the comments from the last BBG Talks. This one I thought was pretty thought-provoking. It just talks about, like, right now in this Beyblade era, there's a good mix of younger and older audiences, and at the end of the day, Beyblade anime is going to go towards the younger audiences. For both aesthetics and for marketing purposes, which kind of go to what we just talked about with the movie. Let's kind of like, which route are they going to lean towards, right?
I think what matters is how that trailer is going to hit. If that trailer hits and it's like, yo, super fantasy, action-packed, then you have the older audience talking about it. Word of mouth will spread. You'd be like, yo, guys, do you remember when we used to play with Beyblades? They got a trailer coming out for this movie, and then everyone's going to talk about it
Which they kind of, I'm surprised that everyone actually talked about it. Like, they went all over the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
We talked about, like, went on, like CNET or something, like, whatever, all these really weird, like, non-Beyblade related websites. But
the thing is that a lot of those people writing those articles are people like us, like a little bit older, you know, in their 20s, in their 30s, like they're the adults, and they're like, hey, I recognize Beyblade, right?
Yeah.
And they write about it.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, if you make it kind of like TMNT, right, the Ninja Turtles, you know, action-packed trailer, got some comedy in it, I think word of mouth will, you know, really help out with that, right?
True. Yeah. So yeah, just thought that was interesting. Like, so many different audiences within the Beyblade niche. And like the movie might be the way to tie everybody together. Kind of like how MCU brought it to the masses, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Everybody likes that, even though they don't love like superheroes in the comics or whatnot.
Yeah,
right?
word.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I guess next comment. This one is also from the same video. We talked about the product, the random booster that's coming up next. The one that features the different cool colorway, similar to Belio with like the red, white, black theme. And yeah, a lot of you guys thought that was actually a really good release. We agree. But in our last video, we said like it wasn't, like it was okay, right?
It's not that great. Like it's good. It doesn't beat out a brand new Bey coming out though.
And a lot of you guys talked about how like we were saying that Infinite Achilles was like, it's super expensive if you want to buy the original colors, and so this one is another way to get it. And then Beyblade Rio here says that like you can kind of make all the stock combos. So if you collect the whole set, then you can mix and match and like make the OG, like original combos out of the recolors.
It's close. It's close. Yeah, and that's like kind of the thing that annoyed me a little bit, is that if it was so close, like why didn't they just make it?
That could have been the gimmick for Random Booster.
Why didn't they just make it? Because you're already showcasing all of the main characters' bays. Why didn't you just make the stock combo?
Yeah, right? Or if you don't make it the stock combo, just like put all the parts in there, so when you buy the whole set, you can make the stock combo.
Exactly, but it's stuck at kind of.
Yeah.
Right, and so I don't know if people are okay with that, then
yeah. And then EJ has a constructive criticism on this one. He says, every Beyblade here comes with parts to make the protagonist actual Beyblade, mainly Infinite Achilles that's valued over 200 USD. That is a good booster, or this is a good booster. But at the same time, it's not the original color, so it's not going to be worth $200. So yeah, that's our take on the product for Random Booster. Still looking forward to it, but at the same time, not extremely hyped for it.
Alright, and then I have a comment here from our Vanish Fafnir F7 unboxing, so the Beyblade Burst Quad Drive release. Wow, that release was just, I don't know, either you hate it or you love it, and a lot of people don't like it, which is not surprising considering there's no rubber. So this comment is from Crimson Master. He says this is just disappointment. Hasbro, I'm speechless at this point. I try to defend you and give you the benefit of the doubt countless times, but I've reached my limit. As of now, I have not bought a single Quad Drive Beyblade, nor will I ever buy one. This is just deplorable that you take away the rubber on Fafnir again, after you put rubber on the Mirage Fafnir last season. Why, just why, Hasbro? So yeah, pretty critical comment. A lot of us think the same thing, you know what I mean? Like, it does suck that they took the rubber away. They added it back to Mirage, took it away again, so it is disappointing, that's for sure. I did reply to a few of you in that video about this type of comment. Since Hasbro is a pretty big company, you know, multi-million dollars, obviously in the tens of millions, maybe even hundreds of millions, why can't they make something of higher quality, right? And at the end of the day, like, Hasbro is such a big company with so many different franchises. Obviously, not all of the budget is going to Beyblade. And the problem is that if we completely boycott Hasbro Beys because we're like disappointed with some of the rubber and all the decisions in that sense, they're going to cut Beyblade off entirely, right? Like, the success of these more gimmicky type of Beyblades is very important for that brand. And so although like we obviously like the Pro Series more, we're still going to be buying the Quad Drive and all that stuff because at the end of the day, we're Beyblade ambassadors for Takara Tomy and Hasbro. We're going to get it all, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, it's okay to be disappointed. It's okay to voice your opinion on it. But like you don't want to discourage someone for playing with Quad Drive Beys.
Just
right?
because you don't like it doesn't mean that you're actually the target audience.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Pretty much there's another realm that you might not be in, right?
Exactly, yeah. So that's the thing. It's hard, right? Because we're in the middle there too. Like, we don't like them taking away the features, but at the same time, like, we understand in the real world, you know, they have to make cuts here and there. That's why they have Pro Series where they charge a little bit more, give you all the good stuff. Then they have the cheaper stuff that's meant for like maybe the younger audience just to get into it, right? Which is kind of like a cheaper entry point into the brand.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't want to buy the Hasbro stuff that's on the shelf either, right? It's like, oh, it looks so bad, but at the same time, we gotta support our brand, right? Like, we have to support Beyblade. At the end of the day, in our opinion, yeah, that Vanish Fafnir, it's butt. Like, it's real butt. It's not a good bay. Obviously, like, we're probably rarely ever going to use that particular bay again, right? So we definitely feel you on this one. It is disappointing for sure. But once again, we still rather see it here and be released than not.
Yeah.
So that's it for this BBG Talks. Yeah, let us know what you think down in the comment section about the upcoming live action movie. Hopefully it stays upcoming and just doesn't die out.
Yeah, I want to hear like everything you guys have to say about it. I feel like this topic is so interesting, and I'm definitely gonna be reading all the comments in this video.
Yeah, yeah. Put down what you want to see in this movie.
Like, which actor do you want in this movie?
Us.
I was thinking like A-lister stars. Like that would work well.
Like who's like 8?
Like, do they want younger or like do they want?
They don't want like a 60-year-old.
Tom Holland.
I was just gonna say Tom Holland and Zendaya. Like, they're like legit right now like the only actors that have like a ton of attention on them right now. So it's like, yeah, like throw them in.
Anyways.
Yeah, we're getting Spider-Man for Beyblade. It's a crossover.
It's like too expensive. Can't hire him.
Yeah, legit though. He's A-list.
Yeah, if they hired Tom Holland, all the leaks would have been out by now.
I'll give him more credit than that.
Alright. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching BBG Talks, and as always,
Geeks out.